Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. The Warriors have a good squad and are capable of going to the playoffs, but to win the championship, this squad needs to be more solid. At the moment, the Warriors have several young players who are developing, and this has drawn the attention of rival teams who want to sign Warriors players. And in this the Warriors can also benefit, because they have the opportunity to sign a new star or a great player who is solid. Hornets are interested in the duo Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. If the Hornets accept a trade for LaMelo Ball, it would be a great deal for the Warriors. A few Warriors could become targets for rival teams. The Golden State Warriors' depth proved a major positive during the preseason, leading the franchise to a 6-0 record despite superstar guard Stephen Curry playing limited minutes. But with the preparation period now out of the way, all attention turns to what Steve Kerr will do with the rotation come the regular season opener against the Portland Trail Blazers on Wednesday. As the head coach put after Friday's win over the Los Angeles Lakers, literally every guy on our roster is capable of playing in the rotation. The Warriors' depth could lead to players becoming trade targets for rival teams. While selflessness and sacrifice should underpin any successful team, those elements may be more needed than ever at Golden State. Some players will be out of the rotation from game to game, their minutes will fluctuate, and Kerr isn't always going to get it right. Accepting that reality could be easier said than done. There's no doubt that DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson all joined the Warriors this offseason expecting to play significant roles, while fellow veterans Gary Payton II and Kevin Looney are both on expiring contracts and are looking to increase their value ahead of free agency. Then there's youngsters Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, both of who will want to get paid in the offseason if they're unable to agree on new deals by the extension deadline on Monday. If there's no contract extension and minutes continue to be inconsistent, rival teams could soon come knocking. One of those could be the Charlotte Hornets, who have been urged to monitor the situations of Kuminga and Moody by writer Oral Dizon of Swarm and Sting in a recent article. It's highly likely that both Kuminga and Moody will choose to stay in Golden State next year, Dizon wrote. However, it's only right for Charlotte to wait in the wings, because some missteps by the Dubs could result in trouble in the Bay Area and viable free agency targets for the Hornets in the 2025 offseason. While Dizon mentioned it in reference to the potential free agency of Kuminga and Moody next offseason, there could be rivals showing interest before then and ahead of February's midseason trade deadline. Young rebuilding teams could certainly be willing to take a chance on the young fourth-year pair, while playoff-level teams may target the Golden State veterans who appear largely out of Kerr's plans once the season gets underway. As Mike Breen and former Warrior GM Bob Myers mentioned on the ESPN broadcast on Friday, the Warriors are likely to be left with players out of the rotation that would otherwise play meaningful roles on most other teams. That could have rivals exploring trade interest, particularly if Golden State's leverage is dented by the fact they're not utilizing said players on a consistent basis. Steve Kerr embraces depth challenge as Warriors prepare for 2024-25. No comments on Steve Kerr embraces depth challenge as Warriors prepare for 2024-25 season with strong roster options. Steve Kerr faces a challenging task regarding the Golden State Warriors rotations and lineups for the 2024-25 NBA season, but he views this as a positive situation rather than a burden. The depth of talent from the 1st to the 15th player on the roster gives him confidence that the team can handle injuries or absences effectively. This versatility allows for flexibility, which is crucial in a grueling 82-game season. After a decisive preseason victory over the Los Angeles Lakers, Kerr expressed his appreciation for the overall talent on the team. He acknowledged the tough decisions he must make regarding player rotations, noting that every player on the roster has shown the ability to contribute. Kerr indicated that this abundance of capable players prepares the Warriors to manage the challenges of the season, including injuries and other disruptions. Despite the various discussions about who should be included in the rotation, Kerr recognizes the difficulty of leaving talented players out. He admitted that he hasn't made final decisions yet, as he hasn't seen enough separation among players in terms of performance. The competitive nature of the roster complicates matters, making it hard to determine which players will be sidelined on game nights. The Warriors bolstered their lineup with key offseason acquisitions, including DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield, and Kyle Anderson. These additions are expected to make significant contributions throughout the season. Additionally, the team will look to its 2021 NBA draft class, featuring Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, who have had fluctuating roles but have displayed promising talent. Pods offers a practical perspective on Klay's departure from the Warriors. Golden State guard Brandon Podziemski speaks to the media following the Warriors' preseason finale victory against the Los Angeles Lakers on Friday night at Chase Center. "It's time to move on." That's how Warriors point guard Brandon Podziemski is approaching the 2024-25 NBA season, which looks a lot different for Golden State without franchise icon Klay Thompson in the locker room. "It was definitely weird coming in over the summer and not seeing Thompson's name up there, but the past is the past," Podziemski told reporters after the Warriors' 132-74 preseason win over the Los Angeles Lakers on Friday at the Chase Center. "Klay is a great player, great person, and we're going to miss him this year, but we can't dwell on that. We have a new team, 6-0, preseason record, now, so it's time to reset everything. Going to Wednesday in Portland, how can we just keep the flow going and make stops?" Both Podziemski and center Tracy Jackson-Davis are looking to make even more of an impact in their second season with the Warriors, and off-season additions Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and Kyle Anderson have already provided a spark. Warriors waive former number 9 pick amid flurry of roster moves. The Golden State Warriors are making some roster moves ahead of the regular season. One of those is waiving former number 9 overall pick Kevin Knox, according to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. Knox was added to the Warriors' training camp roster in late September. As he competed for an actual roster spot, Golden State cut ties with the former New York Knicks forward. Knox has averaged 7.4 points in 6 NBA seasons, with his last season being with the Detroit Pistons. He started in 11 games that year, which is more games than his rookie season, where he started 57 of 75 games he played. In the Summer League, the Warriors knew what the former Kentucky basketball standout could bring. 27.7 K. Why was he dubbed the next Kevin Durant? He dropped 31 points and 11 rebounds on 12-4-17 shooting in the semifinals loss to the Miami Heat. He also shot 5-4-10 from behind the arc in 30 minutes. Not to mention, Knox scored 15 of his 31 points in the first 15 minutes of play. Then, he scored his final 11 in the fourth quarter. The blend of shot creating, clutch shots, and simply creating space intrigued many. Kevin Knox can bring value to a team after leaving the Warriors. While Knox has bounced around from team to team, he showed legit promise with the Knicks. He averaged 12.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per game. Although his shooting numbers were rough, he was a go-to option for a struggling New York franchise. As his minutes dwindled, he sought another opportunity. Knox was traded to the Atlanta Hawks midway through the 2021-22 season. After that year, he signed with the Pistons and then was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. Fast forward, he showed his promise with Detroit once again. After hoping for a shot with Golden State, Knox is on the free agent market. The potential is there, especially after his all-around showing in the Summer League. Even with bouncing around from team to team, Knox brings value as a scorer. For example, a young team like the Pistons, Trail Blazers, or even the Memphis Grizzlies could use someone like Knox. His innate nature to create shots, and make tough ones too, is necessary in a league dominated by scoring. Once Knox develops efficiency in his game, many teams could use someone like him. Before the season begins, the Warriors look to inch closer and closer to their ideal roster. With Knox being out of the picture, he still had a chance to prove his value. As mentioned earlier, Knox can be that scoring punch someone needs.